video that I'm doing today is about crypto. Now, unless you've been living under a rock for the last couple of days, you know that crypto has fallen. I mean, it's just been one big landslide, one plummet after another. It's just falling like a rock in the pond. So, just want to say, don't sell out of fear. A lot of people are selling out of fear, and because of the fear selling, it's making a large contribution to the speed at which the price of Bitcoin has fallen, or is falling, because it's falling. I mean, it's falling bad. I actually slept through an opportunity to cash out and get back in, so that way I will make my money back when the prices go back up. If they go back up, a lot of people are saying if. Some people thinking that Bitcoin is just going to fizzle down to zero. That's not going to happen. If you look at the order books, you'll see there's a whole lot of people sitting at the very bottom prices, just waiting for the opportunity to get Bitcoin at 1 penny or $1. Keep in mind, those orders have to be filled, and once those orders get filled, at some point we're going to do a big reset and basically start from some ridiculously low number, while the people at the bottom will make a crap load of money while Bitcoin goes back up, or makes its way back up, and the other people, they'll be just sitting and twiddling their fingers waiting for the price to come back up to where they can cash out. I'm pretty sure that this thing has scared them so much that they'll just go ahead and cash out and probably touch another trading platform for the rest of their life. But what I plan on doing is I'm actually waiting for Bitcoin to hit 6,000 so that I can cash out, and then when it gets back down to around 4,000, I'll buy back in, unless I see that the price of Bitcoin can actually drop to 3,300, which I'm actually hoping will happen. In fact, I'd rather see Bitcoin drop to $1,000 or less. That way I can buy as many Bitcoin as possible. Now, I used to keep an order at 1,000, and I had an order at 100. In fact, I had Bitcoin at 1 cent, $1. No, 1 cent, 10 cents, $1, $1,000, $100, and $1,000. Okay, I had an order at each one of those price points, and that, I say a order, I mean I had like a big order at each one of those price points, just in case there was ever a flash. And I figured if Bitcoin ever wicked down to those prices, I would pick up a couple Bitcoin at some ridiculously low price, and I would profit as soon as the price would just flash back up. Okay, but right now, that's not my strategy. Right now, my strategy is to sell when Bitcoin gets to 6,000 and goes down to around 4,000, and I can buy back in. Now, here's what happened. Let me tell you what happened on March the 12th, around 10:15, when I was asleep. Bitcoin had dropped down to around until the 4,000 mark, like 4,600 something. Don't remember exactly, but it hit that mark where I could have bought back in. Unfortunately, when Bitcoin was at 6,000, I was asleep. I didn't have anything set up. I was asleep. I hadn't even done the analysis to determine when I could get out and when I could get back in without experiencing a hit. You see, I know that I can do one of three things, and one of those three things doesn't make sense. First one, because the majority, well, the average of all of my buys when I bought Bitcoin, the average of all my buy orders is 10,500, meaning that I could cash out all my Bitcoin at 10,500 when it was high. This is maybe like a month, 2 months ago, I could cash out at 10,500 and just wait, set all that Bitcoin aside and wait for the price to drop, because I could see it in the order books that we would be at 5,500. I saw that. Okay, I even saw where it would drop below 6,500 before that. In fact, I see that Bitcoin can actually hit 3,300, and there's also a possibility that we could experience $1,000 or $1,000 Bitcoin. Okay, but before we get there, the mistake I made was I didn't cash out when I should have, because I'm thinking, it might go back up, it might bounce up, but maybe I can wait it out. Let me see. But I didn't have time. I was so tired from my 9 to 5. By the time I get home, I really didn't have time to trade crypto. So I never did the analysis until about, I guess around 2 o'clock this morning. 2 o'clock, Friday 13th, March Friday 13th, 2 o'clock in the morning, okay? It's 5 o'clock now. I'm on my way to my other house. But anyway, I finally took the time to do the analysis to see when I could get out. I know I'm going to take a hit, but the hit has to be small enough that I can recover it when I start trading from my new entry point, okay? Which for me will be in the $4,000 range. But before I cash out, I need to be able to see that this coronavirus is going to continue to affect the market in such a way that Bitcoin will hit the $4,000 mark again. It did it yesterday when I was asleep, or last night while I was asleep. It needs to be able to do it again, and if it does, that means that there's also a possibility that Bitcoin will hit $6,000. So I'll be watching Bitcoin. I'll be watching the market all day for the next, all day today and then every day, because I don't watch it when I'm at work. I might look at it at my lunch break, but when I'm not looking at it, I don't have my computer out with the exchange showing, because I can't trade at work. Okay, I mean, I can't trade while I'm on the clock. I don't get a paid lunch, so technically I'm off the clock, and it's not affecting my work performance. But I'll trade or look at it while I'm on my lunch break, or I'll just wait until I get off, and then I'll trade after work, and I'll trade until I fall asleep, because I get up so early in the morning that normally by 8 o'clock I'm knocked out. The drool is coming off my chin and all over my shirt. I know you don't want to hear about that, but hey, just being honest here. You know what they say, transparency. But anyway, what I want to say is, for those of you who are considering just cashing out to minimize your loss because you just can't take losing another dollar, another $10,000, $100,000, $10,000, whatever. You don't want to take another hit, and you just want to just cash out and not even deal with crypto. There's a strategy to this. There's some math behind it. The same way that you calculated your moves when you were buying and selling, you need to take the time and calculate at what point and how much of a hit you think you can take, and then find an entry point that you think that we're going to get to, because this thing hasn't bottomed out yet. I don't think we're anywhere near the bottom. I actually do believe that we can see a $3,300 Bitcoin, or even $1,000 Bitcoin. If we keep going backwards and hitting all the marks that we hit on the way up to 20,000, or even most recent, I think 14,000 over the summertime back in June, then it was either May or June, we went to like 14,000 for a little while, and then we just started hanging around 10 and 11, and finally where we are now. Okay, but anyway, keep in mind that when you're doing your calculations, keep in mind that there's manipulation in the market, okay? And with the coronavirus, you got the fear selling from the virus affecting the price action in the market, and you also have the whales who are operating undercover, and they're doing their manipulation, and you don't see it because everybody's thinking that, oh, the coronavirus is affecting the stock market. It's like, no, that's not what's happening. It's the fear. It's people. It's the people who are doing this. It's the fear of the coronavirus, or the fear that the market's going to crash. So people are trying to hurry up and get out. So when they're selling, they're panic selling, they're running the price down. Okay? So as soon as the fear factor ends, then the price will start to stabilize and crypto prices will start going up. But until that happens, people are just not thinking clearly while they're trading. They're just taking their money out and not putting it back in. I don't know what they're doing with it, but most of them are taking money off the platform. They're not putting it back in. They're fear selling, and they're running the price down. And the whales are just undercover. They're just doing the same thing with a whole lot of help from everybody else who's selling out of fear. Okay? So if you're going to take your money out, do the math. Find out when you can put your money back in to recover your losses before you get to the price where you first took it out. Okay? For me, that price is $6,000, because when I did the average, a dollar cost average when I was buying crypto, so now I have to take that average and find another point where I can get out with a minimal loss and recover that loss on the way back up. So I get out at 6,000 or even 6,600. The higher the better. But if I get out at 6,000 is my minimal, I can get back in around 4,600 and just start trading the highs and lows and all the fluctuations in between, and making my small 2 and 3% gains on the way up. And by doing that, I can recover my loss before the price of crypto goes back to 6,000 or 6,600. So when price goes back to 10,000, which was my average, I'll be about $4,000 in profit at that point when Bitcoin goes back to $10,000. Notice I said when, not if, but when. We're just going through a cycle. Just keep in mind, this is just a cycle. This is just something that was not planned. It's completely beyond our control. Okay? I mean, who knew that the coronavirus was going to have an effect on the economy, on crypto, on trading? Maybe a few people, the people who manipulate the market, maybe they figure that, hey, the crypto's going to get affected. Here's what might happen. Be ready for it. Okay? All I can say is, don't panic sell. I see this video is going kind of long, so I'm about to listen to some music, because when I turn on the news, all I hear is Corona, Corona, Corona. So I listen to some music on the way home, and it's Friday the 13th. I hope you're not superstitious, because I know I'm not. Anyway, see you in my next video. Sorry this is going so long. 15 minutes, y'all. Hey, this thing's going to end one way or another. Don't lose all your money. Okay? Make all your trades wisely. If you're out, hey, stay out. Stay out. Wait for the prices to plummet some more. Keep in mind, we're getting hit with bad news on the news every day. As soon as that bad news hits, the prices fall. People get scared. They're pulling their money out. The prices are falling. Okay? So just keep that in mind before you jump back in. Unless you can see from the order books, unless you know how to analyze the books and the charts, and taking into consideration people's behavior when it's being affected by emotion, okay, and they're not taking any other factors into consideration as far as what the price action is doing and why the price is acting the way it is on any of the exchanges, whether it be the stock exchanges or the crypto exchanges. Okay? Just keep in mind, everything comes down to trading based on emotion. Okay? So don't lose any money by just jumping out for no reason at all. If you're going to get out with the plan to get back in and make a profit, because we're going through a reset. That's all I can say. I can see that we are going through a reset, and I really hope that the prices drop below $1,000. I really do. So I'm keeping my eye on it, praying for 1,000. I know it sounds like a bad thing, but it's not. It really isn't. It wasn't that long ago that Bitcoin was at 1,000. It might seem like it. Some of you are new, you've never seen it, but for those who have been in Bitcoin for a few years, hopefully $1,000 will come, and we can take all the experience that we have learned from that last time Bitcoin was at 1,000, and we can make better moves the next time Bitcoin goes to 10 and 20,000. Okay, so just don't lose your shirts while we go through this reset. This is Crypto-Kev, Friday the 13th, 2020. On my way home from one home to another. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Good morning, good night. Now it's time to listen to some music. Peace.